This review of Time and the Rani reads as follows. It was by Tim Roll Pickering, published on the 28th of the 6th, 03, Searching for the Feet. The Doctor's regeneration in Time and the Rani is noticeable for being the first regeneration since William Hartnell to Patrick Troughton to require no outside help from Time Lords, unlike Patrick Troughton to John Pertwee or John Pertwee to Tom Baker. No prolonged potential regeneration failure, Tom Baker to Peter Davison, or instability on the part of the new Doctor, Peter Davison to Colin Baker, just a straightforward switch between one Doctor to the next with only a minimal concussion that could be put down to the TARDIS enforced landing. Whilst the regeneration can be criticised for being realised by McCoy wearing a wig in the preceding shot, and the I hit my head on the TARDIS console notion has been much mocked in both the New Adventures and Doctor Who magazine, it is at the same time done quickly, and so the new Doctor sets about finding his feet faster than his recent predecessors. It's also noticeable that the Doctor doesn't feel the urgency to change his clothes straight away, but instead only does so when he happens to be in the TARDIS. Sylvester McCoy's debut performance shows competence but is hampered by an overt use of comedy in some scenes, such as his continually tripping up in his long trousers and attempting to talk his way out of situations, whilst the constant use of misquotations can get irritating when overdone and implies that the script is written with Colin Baker's Doctor in mind. Nevertheless, the new Doctor's persona is shown as cunning, with a sense of childlike innocence about the universe and a determination to resist the amorality of the Rani's plans. Bonnie Langford gives a good performance as Mel, but the character has increasingly become yet another generic screaming female companion, and there's little to make her stand out beyond this. The Rani is brought back to offer an old foe for the new Doctor, and Kate O'Mara gives a strong performance, though the scenes where the Rani is impersonating Mel are more comical than they're worth, and raise the question of why the Rani needs to dress up and add a wig when later on in the story she demonstrates her hologram technology to be even more convincing. The plot of the story is straightforward but conceptually quite weak, since there is little sense of a direct threat, and the story is set in an alien world populated by clear aliens with an alien skyline. Consequently, it is hard to relate to the plight of the Lakatians or feel much for them, though Kef McCulloch's music does create a sympathetic atmosphere at times. The Tetraps are an interesting new creation, but a little more than servants, and could have just as easily been Lakatians or even humans. The idea of collecting together 12 geniuses is strong, but we only see the geniuses briefly or in long shot. None of them ever get any dialogue, wasting the opportunity for the Doctor and Einstein to converse. The result is a story that just fails to find its feet, even though it is well structured and competently written. The production shows another leap forward for the program, with the electronic skyline, minefield bubbles, and CSO all looking a lot more effective than in many earlier stories. The location work is done in the traditional quarry, but some of the studio sets look effective, especially the chamber house and the artificial brain with its low lighting. Andrew Morgan's direction is competent, but ultimately the story is not a particularly effective debut, and feels instead like a breakneck rush job that isn't quite certain where it wants to go.